You don't ever let nobody see you doubting yourself. Because in my mind, I'm saying, now how am I gonna pull this off? Especially in the time frame that they gave me. I had not even 6 months to pull this off. And you got like maybe 8 images on one canvas. And
Wow.
and when you're dealing with
Wow.
someone famous as Frank Sinatra, you're dealing with the wife or the daughter or whoever that person is, you have to please them. I'm telling you, you got to be right on it. And that was nerve wracking, seriously though, because I didn't know what she gonna say. I didn't never met the lady
Mhm.
before. I never knew her style, but I knew that I'm dealing with her father. So I knew I had to do what make it just as
Mhm.
perfect as I can
Mhm.
do. And that's
Mhm.
very, very stressful because getting on that plane with that art piece and knowing you getting ready to go in a meeting and don't know, and they quiet, nobody's saying nothing. That's the scariest thing in the world when you're thinking, okay, I got the deal done, I got it on the money, and they not saying anything until about 3 or 4 minutes later. That's the longest 3 minutes of my life. Seemed like it never
Mhm.
took, But they said I nailed it, and that was the most pleasing situation of my life. And if you Google me on the internet, Eugene Mosley, the artist Eugene Mosley, you'll see that Frank Sinatra picture. You'll see what I'm talking about. Even I'm gonna tell you how detailed I was on it. It's a piece on that art piece when Frank Sinatra was singing on CBS radio back in the day. He had a piece of sheet music in his hand. You can get a magnifying glass and look, and you can see the musical notes in the sheet music, all done in dots. That's how detailed I
Wow.
was.
Wow.
Yes,
An
Wow.
exact right place, an exact right line, the right space.
yes. So if you guys get a chance to Google me, you'll be able to see my work and see how
Definitely.
detailed it is. And that
Mhm.
what blew Michael Jackson away. Michael Jackson saw me on Larry King Live. I was on Larry King Live, and Larry King has my artwork of Sammy Davis Jr. And Alta Beast was doing a interview about Sammy Davis Jr.'s life and his passing and stuff like that, right? So if you look at the first, it's on YouTube. You look at Larry King interview with Alta Beast Davis. The first thing you see is my artwork of Sammy Davis Jr. Now, at that time, I didn't know Michael Jackson was a big fan of Sammy, and Sammy taught him how to tap dance. Michael Jackson actually tap dance. Sammy Davis on that show. Michael Jackson actually watched the show, and about 3 days later, I get a phone call from England asking me that he wanted that art piece at his birthday party. And from
Wow.
that point on, we've been friends ever since before he even passed away.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Yes, I saw that artwork, Dr. Mosley. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I'm definitely gonna go and see. Definitely.
Yes.
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that you do realism. I think that's really amazing.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to do because when you're doing likeness of especially famous people, back
Mhm.
when I was young, I was doing family portraits of different people. But when you're doing celebrities, that's a whole nother ball game by itself.
Mhm.
And that's when Patti LaBelle started collecting my work. Steve Harvey, I did the artwork for Richard Pryor, that renamed the street in Pearl, Illinois, of Richard Pryor by his wife. So when you're doing stuff like that, you definitely have to be on it. And that what made me famous to have a star in Las Vegas. I'm the first artist to have a star on the sidewalk, on the strip that's an artist, not a singer or actor or something like that. I'm the first artist to ever have a star in Las Vegas. So I made
That's
history.
amazing.
Yeah, I made
Mm.
history. Now
That's
my agents are
amazing.
working on me in Hollywood, so we're trying to get that done too. Yeah.
That's
Dr. Mosley,
amazing, and that's very
do you
inspirational.
do you
Yeah.
feel like there's a persona and a look you need to have when you're pursuing this with celebrities? Because I can tell by the way you look is that you've got a persona, right? The way you
Mm.
speak, the way you look, the way you talk. It's like a package. You're presenting yourself as something. Did you work on that to be unique, or did it just come up for
I,
you?
I definitely did because my background, when I got out of high school, I went straight into the military. I was a drill sergeant for 15. I stayed in the Army and I got injured in Desert Storm. So when I got out, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk. My legs were messed up. I made myself walk. Then I started doing my artwork. I didn't know how to do public speaking because in the military, the drill sergeant, all I did is shout and cuss and everything else. So what I did to learn how to talk in front of different people was go and sell cars at a car lot. Because if you sell cars at the car lot, number one, if you can sell a car, you can sell anything to me. And you're speaking to different people, different races, different creeds, kids, no matter coming in. So I learned how to do public speaking that way. And I practiced, and I got that from Alta Beast Davis. Alta Beast Davis told me, whatever you do, you have to practice at it. So I practiced speaking. And I saw myself, I visualized myself speaking in front of a lot of people. So I'm not the kid when I was growing up was scared to speak at a Easter program at church. I was a little kid that was like 3 years old. They said you had to speak, and I started crying. That was me. But now I speak in front of thousands of people. It don't bother me at all. But when you're dealing with celebrities, my thing is when I meet with Steve Harvey and Patti LaBelle and different people like that, I don't look at them. Even Michael Jackson, when I met him, I don't look at them as being starstruck. I look at it as an educational situation because you don't know how long you have with that person. So my questions, and I ask them what do they see, what they want to do. To me, is educational. So I don't look at them as a celebrity, and that's what they like about me. I don't, I'm not no groupie. I'm not a groupie at all. I look at them as an individual that I can learn from. And every one of those people I mentioned have their own style, their own way of delivering themselves. And Michael Jackson was not what you thought, what you see on TV. In person, he was an artist also. Some of those paintings that you see in his house, he done them. The boy was very creative. And that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know that Michael Jackson. I want to know the creative side of Michael Jackson. And when he realized that I wasn't trying to see if he had lipstick on, that I wanted to see if he had this, I went into all that. We was talking like we talking right now. And that's the gift that I have to be able to be with people and let them feel comfortable being around me. That's how it is.
Yeah, and there are some people that relate better to one race. There are certain people that relate better to age groups. There are certain people that relate to people that dress a certain way. I think you do, because I'm a sales trainer, you do have the ability to be a chameleon. I can tell that by talking to you, because you even change the inflection of your voice depending upon who you're talking to on this call. That's a gift. I want to know, when you first met Michael Jackson, what were your first couple of questions?
First question I asked Michael, let me see, because at first it was more about him asking me questions. The first thing I asked him, what style of art did he like? What his medium? And I asked him what it was famous in what famous entertainers did. I asked him, I said, what was the most famous entertainer or person you ever met that you was very impressed with? Frank Sinatra was one, and it was Fred Astaire. He said Fred Astaire was so smooth when he danced. And he was a tap dancer also. But he said when he tapped, it was so smooth in the transition from one thing to another. And what the song is he did, Singing in the Rain, right? That was Fred Astaire. I believe that was Fred Astaire. Yes, it was.
So.
You're right.
So what I'm saying is he looks at people's style. Like he said, when he danced, James Brown was how he do his thing. Everybody looks at everybody and try to see if I can take from this, I can take from that, I can take from this thing, and they kind of put their own mold to it. And that's what you're doing with your art. You take different pieces and things and you make it look beautiful. Like your artwork, your jewelry. Each one of those pieces are different. They have their own style, their own look, their own everything. But what's gonna make it even work better is when somebody purchases your piece and put it on. Now they put their flavor to it, because how they put their jacket on or they dress on or whatever else they put with it. Your art piece is adding to their look, their style. So that's what I like about what you're doing with your artwork. And that's what I asked Michael Jackson, is what give him his style. It's by looking at other entertainers. And that's what I asked him, most definitely.
I don't even know what to say. I'm interested in Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee, I consider her to be an artist. She owns a magazine. And she started all this, right, about wanting to elevate people into success. And, we're truthful. We want people to elevate also into making more money. Dr. Lee, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Well, I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about, and we have a lot of guests on tonight. I'm excited and I want to hear from all of them. And especially our main guest, which is Kendra Calhoun. She's one of the instructors in the Wealth Elevation Academy. So her heart is in financial literacy. She really wants people to get it. You got to first develop that wealthy mindset. But let Kendra tell her story. You're muted, Kendra.
I'm getting off mute. Hello, everyone. My name is Kendra
Hello.
Calhoun. How are you guys doing this evening?
Hello.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. I'm just blessed that Dr. Lee allowed me to come in and share some of the things that I love doing. I'm a financial broker. I've been in the financial field for about almost 20 years. And outside of financial literacy, I've been in the IT field for about 28 years. I would travel the world and design skyscrapers for a lot of large companies and make sure all the data, voice, and wireless infrastructures were in place for the employees when they came into that space. So I was majoring in IT, network engineering, data, voice, wireless, and minoring in finances. And then in 2021, I decided to walk away from corporate to do my finance 100% because of the passion that I have in the financial field on educating. A lot of times in different communities, people are not educated about what's out here, what can help them, how their money can grow, the different strategies, different accounts like index accounts and things of those natures, annuities and executive bonus plans, life insurance. And a lot of times when we think of life insurance, it could have a negative impact on people because of things that have happened in the past. But when you start really understanding how it works, and that's the number one wealth builder in the world, now we need to educate our communities on how to build that wealth. So I'm just here. I'm glad that I'm here, and I just thank Dr. Lee for allowing me to speak on this call.
No problem. Kendra, I think you mentor, how many sales rep do you have under you?
Throughout the course, over 400 of my career, over 400. I do a lot of training, and of course, in and out and things like that. So I'm a part of a huge team that have thousands of agents, financial brokers, professionals, consultants. We work with a lot of different companies, like different lawyers, accountants, and for other professionals to be able to educate them and their clients. So we talk about like wills and living trusts. I heard you talking about a lot of the entertainers, and unfortunately, a lot of entertainers, they know how to build wealth, but they don't know how to protect their wealth. So that's one of the things that we're out here educating. You know, you're building wealth, but how to protect it. When I say that, just like Chadwick Boseman, right, the Black Panther, you know, him and his family, they had all their assets tied up in probate court for the last several years, and it was just released last year. Now we know that he was really, he had built a lot of wealth, but when he passed away, his family received only a little over $1 million, and we know that he was worth that. And that's because the wealth, he didn't have his trust in place, his estate planning in place, and things like that would have protected that for him. And so that's the same when you mention Prince and Aretha Franklin. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? Unless someone shared that information with you. And a lot of times we think that just because they're millionaires that they know this information, and a lot of times no one is really sitting down with them, showing them how to protect their wealth and how to leave legacies and things like that. Because when Prince passed away, he had to pay over $32 million and back to the IRS, because evidently someone was not showing him exactly what he needs to do to manage that. So that's where my company come in, Bridging the Gap Financial Services. And I work with so many other companies I have partnered with, like Trans-American and Nationwide and Pacific Life, and I mean, over 100 different companies on my platform, to be able to go out here and educate our community for free. We do this free. We go
Yes.
for free, right?
Sometimes I think because it's free, that's why they can't hear.
Exactly.
Oh, but if it's not costing money, then, it must not be that good. How silly.
Oh, yeah. Now we have plans that will, and
Some
training
will
that costs
cost.
a lot of money, But
Yes,
a lot
I
of
know,
times,
because you're working on building my trust. You're working on building the
exactly.
trust for my land and stuff like that. So, yeah, some things have to cost, but you know what? The issue is we've got to learn to invest in ourselves. Until we
And
know
change
that.
the mindset. We got to
Yes.
educate so we can change the mindset
Yes,
to be able to invest into ourselves.
exactly, exactly. All right, anyone have, any of my guests have questions for Kendra Calhoun? She is really someone that knows her business. Like I said, I'm up under her in terms of managing my finances and stuff like that. So she's a real big deal. So anyone has any questions for Dr. Morant, Mr. Branner, Dr. Leathers? Not, we're gonna move on.
I just had a comment. I was curious about something that you said. You said in 2021, you walked away because you decided that you wanted to pursue your passion for educating.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You broke up. I didn't hear the beginning.
What you said, and I'm interested in this. You said in 2021, you walked away from your IT networking engineering position or your business, and you decided at that time you wanted to pursue your passion for educating. What brought you to that point of making such a big career change?
Because I was educated on a whole different level when it came to index accounts, family banking strategies, living benefits, things like that I was educated on. And I realized that a lot of people in my community did not understand that. And a lot of times, if you understand how money works, then you can build wealth within your families, right? And then if you have wealth in your family, it trickles over into your communities. And so I noticed within my community that there was not a lot of wealth that was being built, and that was because education wasn't being presented. We didn't have education to show a lot of the community how to build wealth. They didn't understand this information. And then I started seeing just from the banking, family bank strategy, from insurance, how insurance built wealth within the communities and families. I started learning and paying attention to more of that. And I started looking at the wealthy families, like the Rockefellers, and trying to understand how do they build wealth and how does it continue to go from generation to generation to generation. And so that became my passion, among other things, and I'll let you know that in a few. But because that was my passion, I decided to really dig down deep, and I started working with so many others that had that same passion like I had, to be able to educate people on protection and how to set up your family and how to have a tax-free retirement. Everybody is retiring broke, right? There's so many people are retiring broke. When I go to Walmart and I walk through Walmart, I see my grandparents, we call them our aunties and uncles, and we see the elderlies. They should be somewhere on the beach enjoying life. They didn't put in so many years, and now they go to retire, and in less than 2 years they're back out working because they don't have enough money. And that's because someone didn't educate them. They failed to plan somewhere along the way because they didn't have a plan in place, right? So this became really passionate. And I would stop and I would ask them, they're standing all day. These are 70, 80-year-old men and women. And I started asking questions. What brought you back out of it? Because I know it wasn't something they just love to do. It was because they didn't have the plans in place. No one really truly educated them how money works and the plan that they need to put in place so they can have and enjoy retirement and things like that. So they can now leave legacies for their family and then now their grandchildren and their great grandchildren and things like that, that can continue to move and prosper like I see so many wealthy people's family does. So what is the difference? There wasn't a really difference. You know, the difference was because